Okay. Secondly, I am going to make Thomas a co-host so that he will have share screen capabilities like I will have. And I will say from the outset, now that this is being recorded, you will need to, if you don't have a Google account already, you will need to get one for purposes of this assignment. To get a Google account is free. But to use the blogging tool that will be demonstrated tonight, you do need a Google account. So that's step one. For those of you who already have a Google account, then this wouldn't be step one for you. You would then move on into step two. I'm going to ask Thomas if he would to go ahead and log into his Google account. Whilst he does that, I am going to launch screen share from my machine to point out just a couple of things to you. Matter of fact, hang on here. I didn't intend for you to see that. Okay. Give me just a minute. There's some behind the scenes backstage stuff here that I need to do. Okay, so while that's going, okay, I'm going to pull up the Canvas site for our class, and I want to put it in student view. Okay, now I'm ready to share. All right. Okay, so this is the Canvas site for our class. And if you click on the tab labeled assignments and scroll over to where it says upcoming assignments, you'll notice that there is the link here for submitting the reflections blog for Unit 1. I just want to point something out to you real quick. You'll notice that what it says you will be submitting here is a website URL. So unlike most other assignments that you will be submitting for this class, where you're either completing it, such as a test, which incidentally went live on yesterday morning, and you will have until the end of this week to complete. So you're doing the test right there in Canvas within the interface that is Canvas. Once you submit it, you're turning it in. Other assignments might have you uploading separate attachments as documents. In the case of the reflections blog, and this will be the case because you're going to be doing a total of 4 of them this semester. So what is about to be demonstrated, you will be repeating for each of the next 3 blogs that you will be submitting after this one is submitted come Sunday. You're going to be submitting a URL each time. So there will not be an option provided for you to attach a document or anything like that. So if you don't see that, then that's what you're seeing the correct mechanism for submitting this specific assignment, since you're not being asked to attach anything. So I wanted to point that out. Clicking back on the assignments link, the other thing I wanted to point out to you is the fact that under undated assignments, you'll see here a link that says step-by-step blogging guide. This will always be here for your ready reference. It's listed under assignments. It's, it doesn't have a due date. There are no points. So there's no entry in the grade book. But this is the landing page or the landing area that I had to place this information or this content in. If you click on, for example, the first link here, how to create your own free Google Blogger, this is for those of you who do not have Google accounts. And again, this is as much for the benefit of those who are not here joining us this evening as it is for those of you who are on the line with us right now. Are you guys still able to see my screen? Because sometimes when you click on Word documents, Zoom will for some reason stop the share process?
Yes, I can still see your screen.
Okay, do you see a Word document, or do you see,
No, it's
okay,
going like black.
A
okay,
weird grayness, like
okay.
gray block.
Yep, that's that Zoom doing its thing again. All right, so I had to stop the share, go back in and restart sharing again. So now can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what you're looking at here is a step-by-step screenshotted illustrated guide that essentially lays out what we're about to demonstrate, or what Thomas is going to help me demonstrate right now, as a matter of fact. So just know that the steps that I'm going to be narrating for Thomas as he now shares his screen, so I'm going to stop sharing mine, is going to come from that document, and I don't have any problems at all showing you how to reach that document again if you missed it the first time. So Thomas, I'm going to, let's see here, we got a message from the chat. Okay, all right, Kanar, we got it, and I think she's already gone. Okay, Thomas, are you ready for me to share your screen? So do you have your Google account pulled up?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so you should have, as co-host, share screen privileges. So there should be a green share screen icon there. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Go to your Google tab or wherever it is that you've logged into Google.
Okay.
All right.
Then I will just go to Blogger.
Okay. Hang on for just a second, because I want to
Okay.
give folks here a chance to join us if they can. Okay. All right. To the rest of you, let me just go back to the blogging guide here. All right. If you guys have a computer, or if you're joining us by phone and you have access to a second device, like a laptop or a desktop, and you'd like to follow along as we do this, feel free to do so at this time. But you're going to set up the Google account. It's going to ask you, for personal information, your name and username and a password and all of that stuff. And it's fairly intuitive. If you've ever, created an online account, and I don't know what Apple's equivalent to Google is. Google is more so omnipresent on Android platforms, although I know it is compatible on Apple devices as well. But it's fairly easy to set up an account. So what we're now about to do is going to assume that you've already set up your Google account. So once you've set up your Google account, you will then have access to all the Google apps. Thomas, can you kind of back out of that and show us how you got to that menu?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
because I have Chrome, this is just what my new tabs look like.
Okay, so the multifaceted, like, little icon there with, with the 3 rows of 3 columns of dots, that's what you want to click on once you've established your Google account. This is what it would look like. And you want to find the icon for Blogger. Go ahead and click on that. Okay, now in Thomas's case, since he already has a Google account, and this will be the case for you all once you've established your own Google accounts, you would then click the sign in link. Did you all see where the sign in link was? Or do you need Thomas to go back?
Sorry, it looks like my computer was trying to restart. Luckily, I think I was able to cancel it just before it did.
Oh dear.
Here,
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
fine. I
say,
can get
I
right
don't,
back into it.
okay, I don't remember this. Although again, this is a lovely backdrop screen share we're looking at. Okay.
Okay, back to it. All right.
Okay,
So
back to
back to
Blogger.
Blogger. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
There we
All
are.
right, now in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the option there to sign in. So sign in. Okay, now once you've established your Google account, it'll list, you know, your account, and if you happen to have other accounts, then you know it would list those too. But you want to log into the Google account that belongs to you or the one you've just created, depending on which situation applies to you.
Whoop,
Uh-oh.
sorry.
That's okay. See, I'm real lazy. All my passwords are cached inside of my what do you call it? Personal
But
devices, so I don't have to remember passwords. So I'd be screwed if I ever had to.
I had
All
somebody
right.
get a hold of my Spotify account recently, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
not doing that anymore."
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's a best practice. You're really not supposed to cache passwords, but oh well. All right, it's going to ask you to choose a name for your blog. So since you are going to be creating blog entries for all 4 units of study that we will be doing in AMH 2091, I would like for you to title your blogs, and this goes for all of you, just keep it simple, Unit Reflection Blogs, AMH 2091. So Unit Reflection Blogs, AMH 2091. This is also explained in the handout that is made available on Canvas that I just shared with you guys a few minutes ago. So go ahead and click next. Okay, now this is very important. It says here to choose a URL for your blog. So do you all remember, and I need y'all to sound off when I ask questions because I want to know that I'm clear and that you're understanding what I'm trying to explain. So here's the first question. Do you all remember how in Canvas I showed you how you're going to be submitting a URL
Yes.
as your submission
Yes.
assignment?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so the URL that you're going to be submitting is the URL that you're going to be creating on this screen. So for that reason, I would like for you to use your first and last name as the URL. Okay, so let's see if that's available. Okay, see, so in Robert's case, that is not available. So if that happens, use the suffix in addition to your first and last name, AMH 2091. AMH 2091. Now that should be available. What does it say?
It says it is, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and click next. Now, can you go back to previous for just a minute? I want to make another point.
Of course.
Okay, if you are submitting, and I need for this message to be loud and clear, not just for those who are here joining us, but for those of you who will be watching this recording later. If you are submitting a URL that has a bunch of computer gobbledygook on the other side of the .com in the URL, I'm not going to be able to open it. So you want to make sure that the URL that you're placing in the Canvas submission field is the URL that looks like this. If it looks like any other URL other than what this looks like, I'm not going to be able to open it on my end. It means, so in other words, when you finish writing your blog, and I'll point this out again when we get to that point, when you're finished writing your blog and you hit submit, because it's actually a 2-step process, you have to both save and submit in order for this URL to be the one that shows up. If all you do is save, you're going to create a URL that will involve a lot of computer gobbledygook. And if you go to, you know, the URL field where you've just completed your blog and you simply do like a copy and paste, and you copy and paste that URL into Canvas, I promise you I won't be able to open it. Okay, and this becomes so critical for you guys to remember that your URL needs to look exactly like this in order for me to be able to open it. Okay, so Kiara has a question about the title. Okay, I'm assuming you mean the title. So Thomas, can you go to the previous spot? That's your title, Kiara. Is that what you were asking? The name for your blog?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's the title. Go back to next. Okay, this is your URL. And if you do your first and last name and you get a message that says it's not available, then add AMH 2091 to the end of it, to the end of your first and last name .blogspot.com, and that should be available. Okay, go ahead, Thomas, hit next, please. Okay, now it says, how do you want your name displayed to readers of your blog? Now this should be where you would be able to do your first and last name. And it's so important that you use your first and last name. I have a couple of people that have the same name in this class. And believe it or not, I have a couple of people that have the same first name and last initial. So you can't just say, you know, Jordan T, because I need to know, is it Jordan Thomas or is it the other Jordan, you know, T person? So please put your full name. This will be what will be displayed in your blog. So please click finish. It's processing all of this. And here's a bunch of legalese. You know, said something about the European Union, doesn't apply to us. You can just cross all of that out and X that out too. The blue, yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, here's where it's going to get really, really fun for you, okay? What we've just gone through is probably the hardest part of this setup, okay? Really, seriously, it is. All right, and the reason I say that is because you will only have to do the setup for this one time. And that's, you know, prior to you submitting the first blog. From here on out, all you'll need to do is when you log into your Google account and you click on Blogger, it'll take you to your blog post that you've just created. From here on out, you're simply going to be adding posts, and I'm going to show you how to do that next. Hang on, y'all. The laptop was saying that I was almost out of juice, so I just had to plug it up. Okay. All right, Thomas, if you would, please scroll over to the button marked New Post. Okay, now what comes up? Oh, I'm sorry. I actually, can you back out? Back out, please. Okay. Let's have a little fun with this. Go down to theme.
Perfect.
All right. All right. So this is your opportunity to be really creative. Okay, so unlike a regular reflection essay, which is how I usually and used to require, you know, these reflection essays to be written, notice you have a variety of layouts, a variety of color schemes, a variety of, you know, I don't know, templates that you can use to really have some creative fun with your blogs. So, you know, I'm not going to micromanage and say, oh, you can only use something out of this family of templates, or, oh, you can only use something like this out of this family of templates. I want you all to be creative. In fact, some of your points is going to come from the amount of creativity that you put into these blogs. So let's say you pick you find a template or a theme that you like. So Thomas, just pick one. And this doesn't have to be the one that that you actually do, just like for example purposes. Yes, find one. You find one you like, click apply.
Perfect.
Okay, now go to layout, which is right above theme. Okay, again, you can like play around with this and customize the look of your blog. That's something you can do either at the beginning before you actually do your writing. But I suspect if you're like me, which, you know, I suspect many of you are, you probably want to focus and concentrate on what you're going to say first before you know, play around with the look and the feel of it. And that's perfectly okay too. So for that reason, you want to go ahead. Now let's click on new post. All right, now notice the interface here. What does this resemble to you? What does this look like to you? This screen that you're looking at right now, what does this remind you of?
Microsoft Word.
Yeah, it does. So that's why I said it's very user friendly. It's very, you know, in my opinion, intuitive. That's why I like Blogger. There are other blog tools that we could have chosen to use for this assignment, but I use this, number one, because it's free. And number two, because there are so many design options that are available for free. A lot of your other blog tools, you know, they'll allow you to use some basic layouts and templates for free, but to use some of the snazzier stuff, they want you to pay for it. So I didn't necessarily want that. Now, there are a couple of features. So if you know how to prepare documents in Word, you know how to you'll basically know how to, you know, maneuver in this. Up at the top where it says title, since this is going to be your blog for Unit 1, you can title this Reflections on Unit 1. When it comes time to do your reflection blog for Unit 2 and you create a new post for that, guess what the title for that blog is going to be?
Reflections on Unit 2.
Duh, 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 duh. When you're preparing a blog for Unit 3, guess what that title's going to be?
Reflections on Unit 3.
See, this is really not rocket science at all, is it? Okay, so you're going to title your blogs for whatever unit you're reflecting on. And so for this first one, just so happens you'll be titling it Reflections on Unit 1. Now, you're well familiar, I think, if you've been using Word for most of your academic lives, you're probably well familiar with a lot of the icons that you see in the formatting menu bar here. You'll notice B stands for boldface, I for italic, U with the underscore there for underline. If you scroll over to the A, that gives you options to do different text colors. If you scroll over to the next icon next to it, text background, so you can have some options there. Scroll over to the next icon. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. Go back to the link one. You can insert or edit a hyperlink, so you can actually link out to external tools or external sites within your blog. People do it all the time. Scroll over to the next. This is what makes your blog real interesting, using images. You can even find relevant memes. You can insert videos. Okay. Next to that, you can insert special icons like emoticons. You see that? So you can have so much fun with this. So let's say you've said all that you're going to say. So Thomas, just, you know, write something. You know, Dr. Oliver is crazy. You know, she tripping. You know, anything. Dr. Oliver, oh, he really did type that. Well, I was just kidding. Okay.
Anyway, you gave me something. I'm gonna write it.
Ask for it.
Wow. Okay, that's all right. Let's try to insert an image. Go to insert image. No. You could keep Dr. Oliver's crazy. That's,
Okay,
I
all
am.
right.
Ask my husband. It's, my children would agree as well. Okay, now go to insert image. Now, this is what I think is really cool. If you have images that you want to insert that are on your computer, it gives you the option to do that. Let's go down to Blogger and see. I think you have to have files in Blogger already in order for that to work. From
Yeah.
Google Album Drive. Yep, that's what I thought. So in order to insert images, you have to kind of, you all are probably no stranger to this. You probably have to like go to Google Images, find the image you want, save it to your computer, and then re-upload it. Or you can do a direct copy and paste, where you can copy that image from Google Image. I don't know if how many of you've ever done that. You find an image you like and you simply do like a copy, and then you bring it over to Google, especially if you're doing Microsoft Word. I do this all the time.
What?
Bring your
You was showing that on your little screen.
okay. Bring your image from Google Images, do like a copy, and then paste it directly into the Word document. I believe that it works the same way in Blogger as well, if you just want to skip that step. Do y'all really need to demonstrate how to insert a picture, or do you all think you all can figure that piece out? Do we need to show that?
No.
No, I know how to do it.
Okay, good. All right, now at this point, Thomas, hit the preview button. I don't know how much of a preview we're going to get with just that one line, but you can see kind of how, it's going to look, if you had more content. This is what it would look like on my end. Now, here's what you don't want to do, all right? Do you guys see, Thomas, can you go please to the URL field at the top? All right, you do not want to do a copy and paste into the submission link in Canvas. This is not the URL you want to be submitting, okay? Because if you do that, I'm not going to be able to open it. So do not do a copy and paste of this link. People who are watching this recording, do not do a copy and paste of this link into the Canvas submission page. This is not the URL you want to be submitting, okay? We clear on that? All right, so Thomas, you can back out of the preview now. You can preview your work at any time. I think you can just like, I thought there was a button down at the bottom that said exit preview or exit preview.
There may have been.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Oh, hold up. There we go.
Okay. All right. When you are finished with the content, doing all of the edits you want to do, inserting all the pictures or videos you want to insert, you want to click publish. So click publish. And you can confirm that. Now, Thomas, you can always go back and unpublish or delete it.
Good, because I don't think I'm going to get a very good grade for that.
All right, exactly. You can even, get rid of this altogether when we're all done, as you can see. All right, now, once again, even though you've published it, you still do not want to copy and paste the URL that you see in the URL field at the top of the screen. That's not what you want to do, okay? What you do want to do, Thomas, if you can go back, just click on the link to open it. I'm going to show you how to get to the link that you do want to submit. Click on over on the right-hand side in the menu, click permalink. That is the link you want to submit. Okay? So you would want to copy and paste that link.
Nope, we don't get it.
Okay, I know. We're not worried. All right. You want to copy and paste that link and place it into where it will ask you to put a URL in Canvas. That's what you want to submit. So remember, go to permalink, but only go to permalink if you've published it. Okay? Because another area where students kind of get hung up on, or had gotten hung up on the past, is they would do everything right. They would submit the right link, but they forgot to publish it, which also gives me the inability to access your blog if you don't publish it. Okay, so after you previewed it, you're happy with what you see and you've saved it, then you publish it, and then you get the published permalink, and that's what you want to submit into Canvas. Now, all of these steps, and Thomas, I'm going to ask you to stop screen sharing, and I appreciate your willingness to assist me tonight. Did y'all think that that was helpful to have a student actually work through it?
Yeah, it was helpful.
Okay, okay, good, good. So only one person thought it was helpful. One of y'all. Okay, I'm getting some thumbs up. Okay, I guess, okay. All right, that's okay. Yeah, okay, that's more like it. All right.
Me too.
Okay, good, good, good. All right. So before I move on, because what I actually want to do is show y'all a couple of examples of blogs from previous semesters, and then we'll, open the floor up for any additional questions, and then the evening will be yours. So any questions on anything that has been covered so far? Clear as mud? Okay. All right. Some of y'all get that on the way. Okay. I say it clear as mud. Thomas is nodding his head like, yeah, clear as mud. Okay. All right. So I'm going to now enact my screen share. Now, again, the steps that we've just gone through is available as a Word document. I will show you how to get to that again. Oops. It kicked me off screen share. The steps that we've just demonstrated is available as a Word document in the assignments portal of our Canvas page. It is also followed by additional documents, how to submit your blog links, which makes it, again, emphatically clear what your URL should look like that you're submitting into Canvas, as well as tips for how to actually write your reflections blogs. As far as what it is you're actually going to write about, let me just pull up these examples, okay? This is, this was done by a student who I had back in the fall of 2019. And he's basically just going on about the parts of what he learned in Unit 1. Now, again, what this student learned in Unit 1 and how he experienced it might be different than yours. So I don't expect yours to be exactly like this student's, okay? This is for, example purposes only. But notice how he included the picture, and he's got this, I guess this is to show how his mind was blown, I guess. Maybe that's a meme of some sort, I don't know. But I thought it was funny. If you can make me laugh, that's you're well on your way to getting a good grade. He included, as you can see here, video clips. He even had Bishop Bullwinkle. I don't know if you guys remember him or not, with the Hell to the Nah song. A bearded Steve Harvey. That never sucks. And there's some this is the other thing about blogs. I'm able to go in and make comments on them. in real time, just as I would if this were a social media post. But do you guys get the idea? This was his unit 1 reflection, and for other reflections that he turned in, which essentially from this point forward, all you'd be doing is adding posts. This was his post from unit 2 or for unit 2. Okay, in which he did the same thing, adding pictures and memes of interests. So, you know, he really kind of got into it, which is why I made him my example. I don't know if Anthony completed a profile or not, and it appears that he did not. You know, the other thing that I would point out here is that I've actually had former students use the blog that they had to create for this class as a launching pad for, you know, a blog. Because do y'all know that people can make money blogging? Y'all know that people make money doing blogs? So this
Yes.
particular young lady, she actually launched her blogging career in my class. She's now an African American study, and I should have posted her blog. I didn't think about that in advance, but she's actually an African American studies major at FAMU now. I had her a couple of years ago, and she actually used this as a launching pad in which she uses her blog to opine about different things that are going on, you know, current events, politics, entertainment, that sort of thing. So this can be something that you can actually launch for yourself. Here's another example of another blog from that same semester, different student. This is, you know, the approach that this student took. Not quite as many, you know, animated memes, but still, there's some illustrations and pictures that add interest to the comments that she's making. So I added these as a way of, you know, just kind of showing you what is possible. Here's that same student's blog on Unit 2. Reflections on Unit 2. So again, you can kind of see some of the approaches that different people have taken in completing this assignment. Okay, so now that you've seen a couple of examples, are there any questions on anything covered tonight?
How long is it supposed to be? Like a page or more or something?
At least a page.
Okay.
But keep in mind, since you're doing a blog, the layout's going to be a little bit different than if you were doing this just like on a regular, you know, documented format. So it's going to look like a page, but it's, you know, that's a web page. So again, and I'll make those links available so you can kind of, and as well as a few more, so you can get a gauge for, you know, blogs like that. Let me just show you guys the rubrics real quick. In other words, what I'm going to be looking at when I grade these. Hopefully I remember to upload the rubric so you can see where your points are going to come from. Okay, I'm going to have to get out of student view here in order to do this. No, I didn't upload the rubric. Tell you what, I will, because I want to be respectful of your time and I want to take up much more of your time than I promised I would. I will send out an announcement through Remind, through email, also on Canvas. I will share the rubric with you so you can see what it is I'm going to be evaluating and how much things are worth, so you can get an idea of you know, how you need to structure your work to earn the maximum amount of points you can earn on this.
Dr.
Jordan?
Oliver, I think the rubric's on the syllabus, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it in the syllabus?
I believe so. I believe I saw it in the syllabus.
Okay, if it's in the syllabus, let me just do a real quick look-see there. that would have been a wise thing for me to do. I always like to show people how they're going to be graded. This is the syllabus. Okay, I'm not seeing the rubric for the blogs. So I'll make sure that I will make that available. So again, you'll know how to structure your work. Like how much time should you spend on creativity versus the actual content of what you're saying, that sort of thing. Okay. All right. Any questions? It is now 7:46. I didn't really want to keep you much longer than the 45 minutes I said at the outset. So are there any questions? Does anybody want to ask a question about anything related to the class, not related to the blog? Why you got me? Okay, how are things going for you all so far?
Great. I'm really enjoying the class. I've learned a lot so far. Also, Jordan, while I've got you, I really appreciate your comments and discussion. Like,
Oh, good. Thanks.
I feel like
I like the discussion posts. I feel like they're really like we actually get to hear what everybody has to say, and I like the fact that we get to have feedback back and forth like that about stuff like this because a lot of people don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, and you know, I must tell you, and I will say, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording now for those of you who want to stick around for a few, because you know, you just get a rare opportunity to fellowship with, you know, your online classmates that you don't ordinarily get. But if you at this point want to, you know, excuse yourself, I certainly understand that too. I'm going to stop recording.